Hey everyone, what's up? This is Emmanuel from Dimension Photography, and I'm going to be posting is a new tutorial. Basically what we're going to touch up on today is how to make your photographs look great using black and white by controlling the shadow and also the black point, and even adding a little bit of vignette. Alright, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is alright, so we're going to turn this image into black and white like this. Cool. Alright, so let's get started. Right, so we have here the original image, and the application that I'm using is Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom. If you don't know it, get used to it, learn it. Basically what I'm going to be showing you is principles that you can apply to any application, any program that you use. So just try to understand how it's done, and then you can apply it. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do here is when we go to this area, which is under the treatment or basic, toning, you see here where it says color and also black and white. What you're going to do is turn it, click into black and white, and there you have your black and white image. Okay, another way to do this, if you go back to color, and then you go down to where it says saturation, and then slide that all the way to left. Okay, and you got black and white. So that's it for the tutorial today. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. I'm just kidding. So now let's get started. So this is the first step. So basically now you have your image in black and white. Now the good thing is, since the image was already in color, now it's just in black and white, you're able to choose between two and then also play with the colors inside black and white, and I'll show you how to do that. But first, so what we would want to go into are the basic tones, which is the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites and blacks, and I'll show you how they work. Right, so exposure, you bring up the color. I won't mess with that too much in this one, just because I don't want it too bright. I'll leave it as it is. Now the contrast is important, because basically black and white, what it is a fight between the contrast between black and white, which one is stronger. So the stronger you bring it up, see, the deeper between the two. So depending on how much punch you want to give it, I'll leave it right about there, just to leave that contrast, to leave that difference between black and white. Then the highlights, I'm actually going to bring down, because I want to bring the detail in here. I want to kind of save it a little bit. So let me see, about there should be fine. Then the shadows, you see the shadows are the important parts, shadows and blacks. Because shadows, if I bring it up, it brings out all of the background, and everything that was out of focus is more in there. But what I want to do is actually bring it down. Okay, then we have the whites. Bring it up a bit, not too much. I don't want the highlights blown out. Okay, and then the blacks. So this black, these are the ones you have to worry about, because the black is pretty much the black point, which will completely crush anything that's dark. So if I bring it up, it'll kind of do almost what the shadow did, but when you see me bring it down, you'll see the difference. You don't want to do that. That's too much unless you're really going for that dramatic goth look. Okay, but this one I'm just going to bring it back down a little bit. So basically we have our black and white image here. There's not much more about it. Another thing you can do is also the clarity. This kind of is like sharpening it. It's a little bit different. If you see, I bring it up, it kind of just gives like a general sharpening to the whole image. If I bring it down, it kind of blurs it, like all those apps that you use to blur out your face, make it look beautiful. Okay, I'll bring it up just a little bit, not too much. Okay, so the same way as you saw how I played with these sliders, you can also do here with the tone curve. If you don't know what a curves is, try to learn it. I'll explain it in a different tutorial. but basically it gives you the same range to use the highlights, lights, darks, and shadows. It just gives you a little bit more control because you're able to curve it, give it more of a curve. Alright, so the next thing that you would do is actually go into your colors. Now this might be counterintuitive because it's in black and white, but you'll see what I mean. If we go back to the original image, as you see, we have some yellows, oranges, some pinks, some greens. So when we turn it into black and white, those colors still exist. So if I take my green slider, whatever was green, we'll just get a little bit brighter or a little bit darker. So here, you're going to notice that the orange and yellow is going to make a huge difference. So when I bring up my orange, it gets brighter because it's the color that's dominating most of the picture. That's why it's important to know what colors are in your photo. And then bring up the yellows. So I brought back that brightness only on the part where it is. So that's why it's important to know what colors are in your picture. So pretty much this is the image that we have. I'm not going to go into any of the other things. So you pretty much have your black and white. I mean, this looks good. This is really good for black and white. But what I want to show is how to get rid of all this background, all these extra things that we really don't want. So there's two ways of doing this, but I'm going to show you one way is using the radial filter. Here's a graduated filter and a radial. The radial filter basically means it's a circle, and whatever adjustment you do will remain inside that circle or outside the circle. Okay, I'm going to click here. Right, make my circle, and I'm actually going to want it kind of oblong, ovalish. Turn it. Okay. So basically I just want it over the main part of my photo. And when I go over the center, if you notice, see how it turned red? So the part that's outside or in red is basically the part that's going to be affected by the adjustment. And everything inside is not really going to be affected. So I'll show you. Now I'm going to affect the sliders inside the radial filter. So when I bring the exposure down, look what it does. That's pretty nice, right? So that's pretty much what we want to get to. But as you see, so if you bring the shadows down, now it brings down the shadows a whole lot more, and the same thing with the blacks. So we're not going to use the blacks again, like I mentioned. I think it goes too much. The exposure pretty much looked good. Yeah, I'm going to leave the black how it is. So now we have this, and it's pretty much a good image, but we're losing a lot of detail. So there's different ways to play with it. I mean, you have down here your feather, which shows how, that you're using a filter or not. Usually you don't need that too much, 30%, wherever. But I'm going to show you the cool trick here is, you see how you're in the mask, so we're using a radial filter, right? So here's new, edit, or brush. So we're going to go into brush. When you click brush, it's going to allow you to adjust whatever adjustment you did. So let's say right here, I want this part to be blackened out, so I'm going to add it. But obviously we don't want that, right? But basically, so you can adjust whichever part is not affected. So what we're going to do is, when you hold Alt, it will actually take away. So this is what we're going to use it for. Because here I lost the feather, or the wing. But we want to bring it back. This flower, and then this base, we want to bring it back. We definitely don't want to lose that. So now you see why this edit is amazing to use the adjustment brush. You see that? So this is basically what we want. We want to save all the other bit of information. We actually want to get back here. There was a mirror that had a reflection, which looked beautiful. Let's bring back that detail. Right. See how that looks? That looks nice. I like that. Alright. That pretty much looks good. And so once you're done with the edit that you did, and just hit done, and it's gonna save. And pretty much there we have it. You have your black and white photograph. Of course, you can go into more detail to take out all these extra things, but I think this looks really good. So if you notice from the beginning, this was the original image, and we finished off with this image. Okay guys, so that's how you use the radial filter and your basic adjustments to turn a color photo into black and white. Alright guys, so that's basically how you turn a photograph into black and white, and you know how you get that full effect of just bringing out the original image without having too much of the background and kind of blacking it out. So if you like this tutorial, you know, leave a comment about any questions that you may have. Share this with your friends who might also enjoy this content, and if you haven't already, liked and subscribe. Alright man, so I will see you guys on the next one.